Hi everyone, welcome to my tutorial. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make this beautiful baby blanket, or it could even be a larger size blanket. And I just absolutely fell in love with this color, and I'm going to share with you what I've used today. So this blanket measures approximately 30 by 30, and this is the yarn. I am using Line Brand Cover Story Dreamland yarn. And here are the specs. So this yarn is 10.6 ounces or 300 grams, 148 yards or 135 meters. It is 100% polyester. It is machine washable and dryable, a super bulky number 6, and it recommends an N 9mm hook. This is the color Rainbow. And this is what it looks like on the ball, on the cake, and this is what it looks like worked up. So, sorry for me reaching. This yarn comes in a variety of colors, and I just wanted to share some of those with you. This is the color Black Cherry. It has mostly black with white, maroon, and gray. Black Cherry. This is the color Galaxy, and this has a base of gray with black, navy blue, green, and very, very light blue in it. This is the color Cabbage Patch, and this has mostly this forest green mixed with a little bit of a lighter color. So I wanted to show you the different colors that exist just so you know what you can make. And I'm going to share with you the tutorial for this. It's a very simple repeat. I myself am using a Susan Bates hook. This is an N 10mm hook. So without further ado, grab your number 6 super bulky weight yarn and let's get started. All right, here we are. Here is our yarn, and here is my N 10mm hook, and we are going to get started. So the way I like to do this is I make a magic circle. So I'm going to leave a tail long enough so that I can weave in the ends at the end. So I'm going to leave a long enough tail. Because this is a more super bulky weight yarn, I need a little bit more of a tail. I'm going to start off with just a regular slip knot. And then I'm going to put my yarn on the hook. I don't have any specific number of chains for this project, but I'm going to be relying on my tape measure. Where is my tape measure? It's right here. So let me just take that out of my pouch. I just use a tape measure and I will be checking. So if you look at the different sizes of baby blankets, a standard baby blanket is approximately 36 by 36 inches. The sample that I just showed you at the beginning of the video was approximately 30 inches long and 30 inches in height. So it is up to you what size you'd like this to be. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to show you a small swatch so that you understand how to make this blanket. So I am going to go to maybe halfway. Let's see. Yeah, you can see all of that. Let's just quickly measure how long that is. So that is approximately 13. That'll be about 12 inches. Okay. So what I would do if I were you is I would chain as long as, say, for my blanket that I showed you, I chained up to about 30 to 31 inches, because the first chain you start in the second chain from the hook. So somewhere between 30 to 31 inches. If you want to make a standard baby size blanket, you can always go up to 36 inches. If you want to make something bigger, you can chain until that as well. So I'm not giving a specific chain number, and that is because you might be using a different size hook. You might be using a different size yarn. But I just wanted to show you how you could make this blanket with the super bulky number 6. So for the purposes of this tutorial, my sample is about 12.5, but we'll measure that again once we do the first row. So once you have chained, so let's just make sure this is not getting twisted, it is straight. Aren't the colors beautiful? I just love this. It's called Rainbow and I absolutely love it. Okay, so once you have chained to the right measurement, you want to then start your first row. And now there's one loop on our hook. We're going to leave that there. We're going to leave the first loop and go into the second loop with a single crochet, okay? And this makes our first single crochet of the row. And we're just going to go across and make single crochets in each and every stitch, in each and every chain. I'm sorry, not in each and every stitch, in each and every chain going across. And this is just a very basic single crochet, and I'm doing it with my end 10mm hook. The reason I chose this hook is over a metal one is that the metal end size hook gets very heavy and I wanted something lightweight. So that is why I've chosen this. I know it looks like my work is curling right now, but don't worry, that will sort itself out in just a minute. So I am working across my chains and just making single crochets in each chain across. And then when we get to the end, I'll show you how to turn and I'll show you how we will be progressing for the rest of the pattern. So here we go. We are almost at the end. I don't know if I will be making a written pattern for this. I think this is sufficient as a tutorial on here. It is a very simple repeat that you could really do with, excuse me, with any yarn of your choice, though I'm doing it with the super bulky number 6, which is kind of like a chenille yarn. Okay, that is the last chain. So now you can just look back and see what we did. And now again, I would recommend before you go any further, just again measure your work. So let's just see. We had started off with, yep, it's exactly 12 inches, okay? So now that that part is done, we are going to move on to the rest of the blanket. And so at the end of that first row, we're going to chain one. We're going to chain 2 and we're going to turn. The reason we're chaining 2 is because we're going to be making half double crochets. So just to get to the height of a half double crochet, we're going to be chaining 2. Now, here we are right at the beginning. And because we just did a row of single crochets, we have to set this up. So now I'm going to make half double crochets in every stitch. So I'm going to go into that very first one as well. I'm not ignoring it. I'm going to the very first one, and in every single crochet across, we are going to make half double crochets. This pattern uses very basic stitches. It uses single crochets, half double crochets, and chain spaces. And that is pretty much it. So I would say this is a very beginner friendly pattern that you can use and make any size blanket or throw that you wish with something like a super bulky 6 chenille type yarn, or even if it's not chenille type yarn, you can definitely still make this pattern with a bulky weight yarn of your choice. So I'm just making half double crochets going all the way along, and then I will show you how to continue for the rest of the blanket here. So these colors are just gorgeous, and that's the reason I decided to show it to you with this yarn, because it is just so lush. This yarn is so plush and squishy. I just love it. Okay, so we're almost at the end here. And of course, this is the second row. So we're working into the single crochets. So we have 2 more. If you're ever confused when you get to the end, just hold your work like this and you'll see that there's still a gap there. So there's 1 more stitch to be done. Okay, now the last stitch is a bit finicky. I would go into, if I went in here, there's going to be a big gaping hole. So I'm going to go in here and make that last half double crochet. All right, now again, we're going to chain 2. And now for the rest of the blanket, you will just be working half double crochets. Now, excuse me, I'm going to give you a tip when I was doing this myself, I found that I was working into not the entire stitch. So I've done the chain 2, and now you can see here, where's my tool? Let me just grab my scissors so I can show you, or grab something. I'll just grab another hook here. Okay, so you can see here, that is the stitch. I think this is also part of the stitch, but I'm going to leave this bottom piece where it is and work into the top of the stitch here. So this is what I mean. I'm going to make a half double crochet in between here, and that just gives a really nice look. And you'll always be able to put your finger there. You could go underneath this entire stitch as well, whatever your preference is. The only thing is here, it kind of highlights that front part. So either way is fine. I got very used to just doing it in the top of the stitch and leaving the bottom part. I hope this is not too confusing, but we're just making half double crochets, you guys. So however you want to make that half double crochet, wherever you'd like to place your half double crochet is perfectly fine. And that is all the pattern is. So you're going to continue that all the way across, and that is what you're making. So just to recap, we are going to chain and measure our chain to the length that we would, the width that we would like, and then we're going to work on the length of the blanket. So I just made a small swatch for you here, and this is approximately, what is it here, 13 inches across. For the blanket that I just showed you in the beginning, I did about 30 across, but a standard baby blanket could be even bigger, around 36 inches. So just do that, and when you get to the top, all I do is the very last row, I will chain 1 and then work 1 row of single crochets, and that is how I close off the blanket. I have not made any border, but that is what I did. And let me just show you my beautiful blanket again. This is my beautiful, beautiful blanket. It's so beautiful. I love it. So it's a very nice pattern, a very simple pattern, a very doable pattern, and that is the top there. So once I did the last row, I just did 1 row of single crochet at the top, and I feel like that was very sufficient. I cannot get the whole blanket in the frame because it's so big, but it's just half double crochets repeating. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope that you will make this blanket and share it with me. You can definitely email it to me. You can share it here and on social media. Again, this is the Dreamy Rainbow Blanket, and thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I'll see you in the next video.